Hello, my name is Jose, and this is my video walkthrough for assignment number 4 in Assist 4930. So just kind of quick look over here as part of assignment 3, just some minor updates were incorporating how the add and edit tasks are handled. So rather than having separate edits when the click button comes up, it will be forwarded to the same click, which will take the selected item and whether it, depending on the type, will call the appropriate dialog box for the add. All the rest are still relatively the same, except added a complete list check and removed the save load features, since that'll be taken care of by the APIs. As far as how that affected changes code, now these all handle DTOs rather than just simple task items, and you can see how the DTOs handle the notification of property changes and how the items themselves are simply the bare minimum that's necessary. So some classes that were kind of formatted from prior, I'd be able to input, which would receive whenever someone is trying to format the list, hence the name of this string. So that way it can handle the various types. So when a search, either a search or searching or having complete and incomplete tasks. So, and the format list is just the way in which the output is to be shown. As far as changes to the code, not much else in the XAML files, mainly on the code behinds. As you can see, again, all the items were now replaced with DTOs, and as far as major changes for anything for the adding or editing of an item, for completing a task, or for adding, editing, and completing the task that needs to be there. Those are the only things that will call actually to an API now, and update the list there as well as necessary. So these calls here, where they deserialize in the main page, and this also shows where we replace that load save with actually just getting the list. And then these various dialogues that handle that in terms of main view models, that just has that one. And that takes care of the UWP updates. As far as for the API portion, that's created brand new. This is just a starting basic list, has one task, one appointment, bare minimum, at least something kind of every variable that's there, and the controller. And then as far as probably the main things here, these JSON converters are also here, as well as in the UWP for assisting with the JSON conversion and deserializing, and they're applied to the DTO library since that's the one that requires them. As far as the other modifications needed for startup, replacing the standard add controllers with the JSON for the custom deserialization here, which is the converter. As far as the controller, so we have our ping test, show here shortly, our get all, which uses the serializer, so we only need one simple statement. We've got a delete, complete, again, so we added the list, we're completing a task, and then we're adding or editing an appointment or a task. So there we go. So to get this running, I'll kind of do this a little bit longer. That way there, so you can see where the deadline, this is for the first task, and this is for the first appointment here. And if we want to do the test, there we go. So that's the ping for the controller. So that shows that that one's working there. We only have one controller, so we don't need any multiple there. Now that this is running, we can go ahead and start up the application. Let me bring this onto the screen. So again, the functionality is fairly similar except for the edited. Now it's just one, delete is just one, and the sort priority is kind of put in here since those were kind of the main buttons there. And then the complete and search are the ones that are added. So if we want to add a task, we don't have anything in here, it's just null entry, so we have that here. When we go ahead and add it to this one, it will generate an ID on the API side, which will be passed back, so that way it's not there's linked up properly. So if we look here, right there, the deadline that was created is low. So now if we want to go ahead and edit this one, so we see that we changed it here. Now we go ahead and refresh this page. So again, we didn't change the status of the complete yet, but we did change the number, the name of the description, and then the priority as well. Entered in the deadline, which was different. And so if we wanted to go ahead and mark this one complete, you can see where that property changed from false to true. And if we want to go ahead and show the basic functionality that's coming here again, so now we can filter out the complete lists. There, if we want to search for something, again, we'll be searching the name, description, and the attendees if they're present. So there's only Jose in the appointment that's there. So we get that back. If we're looking for task, the word task, which is in both of these names, so it'll bring that one back. In the description, or I'm sorry, the names are actually these numbers this time. So if we wanted to look for the name, we find that there. And we already showed the description there. So as far as removing an item, so if you see these, all these changes didn't really do anything to that because there was we were just searching, and for the output dialogues, we don't necessarily filter out this the API list that's stored. So the only ones will be these top 4 right here. So if we want to go ahead and delete the first, let's delete the first task. Then we'll refresh. So now there's only 2. We kept this one that was right here. Now if we want to sort these, now because this one has top and this one has low, again, this isn't going to do anything on this side. It wasn't required because it's not actually updating any of the content or editing any of the content in the actual items. And that shows all that there is to show with the task. So if we close this out and then we relaunch, now you see how the list is still currently set to what is currently running on there. So the load was not the original data context because we didn't close this out. It was still running in the background.